Welcome back to the Keeping It Rugby with Gcobani Bobo. This is the Curport. Man oh man, did I bring one today? The real one, the most real one. It is the Prodigy, the man who was great in rugby, football, and cricket. In his youth days, this man could tear up anything. My first time bumping into him, he was this, can I say, a very confident young man who was at about 16 years old, and he was already playing Craven Week, and he was taking the scene by storm. I mean, the one and only. I call him CJ. To all of you, he is known by Conrad Jantjes. CJ. Otherwise, you all, my guy.
Yeah, Pops, can we do that again? Can I go out and come back in?
Oh, wow.
I promise you that intro made me feel special.
Oh, you are so special.
I was feeling it.
No, you are so special because, you know, the one thing that most of the time we don't get our flowers while we're still alive, right? And we've been talking about this, like, let's catch up, let's sit down and let's actually chat about it. And I was sitting back, I was doing all my research. Now I do research.
Why are you doing research on me like you don't know me?
Oh, I have to do research on it because, like, Conrad, you might not sort of like take it to consideration. You are an exceptional talent. I mean, cricket, first of all, you started off with cricket and then football was still part of that. And then rugby was still part of that.
Yeah.
The cricket bits, how did that even go on? And what were you a specialist batsman? Were you an all-rounder?
Okay, so I'll tell you, football is my first love.
Aye.
All right. You grow up in the hood.
You do
football,
that.
It's a ball in the streets you play. And I probably started as young as I can remember, 4 years old?
Yeah.
I was playing, 3, 4. And that was always, and probably still is, my first love, you know. And then I end up, parents sacrificed a lot. You get sent to, I'm a CBC boy, you know.
Yeah.
And coming out of Boksburg, and you get thrown into the other sports. Because remember, back in our day, you had to do a winter sports, a summer sports. It wasn't an all-year thing.
No.
So then in summer I had to play cricket, so that's where the cricket came
What was your
along.
other offering? Was it swimming?
I can't even remember. You just go where your mates go, you know what I mean? You just follow them. It was that, and then winter came along and I was playing club football, and then it was either hockey or rugby at school. And once again, the boys go to the rugby, so I was like, okay, cool. I'm not saying I didn't try hockey. I was absolutely useless. I didn't understand why I couldn't like smash this ball.
For me, that whole thing of having to get a stick, that means that you have to get a different bag. That means you have to get different boots, which you can't use for football.
More money.
That's exactly what I was getting to. And I was
Yeah.
like, I could not convince my folks.
No way, it's cricket gear. I mean, it's weird. Only once I left school did I discover what a post-dated check meant. Because I used to get, you get given, but that's the way it was. And when I say my parents sacrificed, not only my parents, my family sacrificed so much for me.
Yeah.
They never said no when I wanted to play for the school tennis team.
Sure.
I got a racket.
Yeah.
You try things out, and I always encourage the youngsters nowadays to do that. Like,
They're all sports
just
too. Man.
play, you know what I mean? You don't know what you're going to be at 13, 14. I don't care. Start off high school. Just play as many sports. And at the end of the day, they all gel together and they help you.
You talk about that. I mean, the one thing that you had in rugby was how you could pick up space. Like,
It's the football. It's the football, straight up, you know. I actually felt I was a better rugby player when I was playing football still.
because that peripheral vision thing, it happens to you in football where you almost have to pick up the guy who's doing for the through pass.
Yeah.
You can't and no look pass too for the through pass.
Exactly. So you're aware of your spatial, your setup, your spatial awareness, all of those things. Your footwork, hand-eye, hand-feet coordination, all of those things.
Which position did you first start?
So I started off midfield,
Yeah.
and then there was a time that at the interprovincial tournament I moved to striker. I was up front in the midfield and at the back.
Yeah.
But under Trot Moloto, he was my first national team coach. I think he's still involved with Sundowns now.
Now you're dropping big
No,
names.
he was my under 17 coach, and he played me in the midfield. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a holding midfielder. Were
Yeah,
you like
yeah,
a Steven
so-
Gerrard?
so-
Up
no,
and down the field.
Up and down, but I'll tell you who was my heroes and you'll get an idea.
Yeah.
A Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Those type of guys. Those hard ass.
So you put the foot in.
A Gattuso.
Yes, Gattuso.
50-50, somebody must go down. It's not gonna. They were those type of guys, you know what I mean? But I enjoyed getting forward. I enjoyed scoring goals from. I love the shot from outside the box.
Let's name drop guys you played with that went on to play for Bafana and your junior teams that you played for.
Yeah, Lucky Masalasele.
Yeah.
Late now, but Kaiser Chiefs, Dylan Shepherd.
Yes.
Dole actually went
Great
to
coach now.
he went to Barca and is now with Kaiser Chiefs.
Yeah.
Who else was there? Kendrick Besson. Yes. Kendrick never quite got to
levels,
but he was he was a
special.
striker, you know, just a solid guy, good guy as well. Munib.
Yeah.
Munib Josephs was my keeper.
Slim cut.
And the nice thing was, as we all went up in levels, the tickets to our games just started going around.
So
like
it became a good symbiotic
circle.
circle.
Yeah, we still stayed in contact. And Pro Gumbi, he also played some big time ball.
Yeah,
we had a
Chelsea. When you go for people who know your story will know about you going for trials to get into professional football.
Just too young, simple.
So where'd you go?
To the academy.
Yeah.
But didn't spend enough time there. It was.
What was it for you? What is this? Just became.
I think it was more. Yeah, it was too much. It was just all about the football. It wasn't the education side of things as well. And it's not gonna work as a.
Then you just pull the plug.
Yeah. But also, was I really that committed? You know what I mean? I was playing everything else, and that's what I'm saying. Like you can't commit at such a young age. Enjoy, play. I know things have changed big time with the schools leagues and guys are getting signed now. I also did.
you assume. You were signed too, weren't you?
But I mean the exposure they get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when it came to my first rugby contract or my first contract I signed was a cricket contract.
How does that come about? I mean, cricket to you, was it something that you just picked it up easy?
Coordination. You got to hit the ball, but then you kind of figure out, and back in my day, there was no T20 league. Otherwise, I might have stayed that side. You know, you play 4 tournaments, you sorted. You chill, you fishing, you're lying on the beach for the rest of the year. But, the cricket also, I just fell into it. Friends at school. Next you know, you're in the regional team, the provincial team. Things are moving along. But I could never figure out, like I played SA under 19 cricket. And we played 4-day test matches. And I was like, you stand in the sun for 4 days to draw a game. That's like stupid. You know what I mean? Like that's, you start on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, your whole weekend, and then you draw. I was like, yes, this doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, you're a Lions legend. Played at the Cats. I mean, this is when I came through the under-20s. How important was that? That move from Boksburg, because being the Falcons, coming into Johannesburg. I mean, it's a bit of the big city, but it's not really for you because you're part of this region.
Yeah. So I remember. It's weird. It's taking me way back now, but it's fresh, you know, because it was those moments that made you.
Yeah.
And Bobs, you know, any international sportsman, you got to get lucky. Talent plays a big part, but at the end of the day, you got to get lucky. Somebody's got to see you, and we know of so many guys that we've played with that probably could run faster than us, kick better, pass better, do everything better than us, but they just didn't get lucky. And you know, so I remember I was in school, I was in matric, I was a 17-year-old lady, and I was playing under 21s for the Falcons. I played one game, and my second game for the Falcons under 21s was against Border on a Friday night at Barnard Stadium in Brakpan.
proper.
Yeah.
That is proper.
And we had a 5 o'clock kickoff. Main game was 7 o'clock on the Friday, and we were like 4:30 or whatever. And I stormed. Yes, I scored like a hat trick. I scored 3 or 4 tries. I was kicking everything over from all over all angles on the field. And I got a call from Jake White.
Yeah.
He was the under-21 assistant coach at the Lions. This was just before he got pulled into Nick Mallett's setup with the Springboks.
The Springboks, that's
as technical director. So he says, "No, I must come for trials at Wits Tech."
What was your first thought? The Conrad thought when they said come for trials and you're already playing under 21s?
I understand. Look. I know where you're going. I know what you want me to say. And I'm not going to say it. I'm just so humble, Bobs, man. No.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. I'm really grateful for it, and I'm going to make the most of it. And the guys that stand in front of you when they do an interview, we know it's going to be tough, but I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and remember the top field at Wits Tech?
Yeah.
On the hill? And they were having a trial game, the Lions and the 21s. So here's a 17-year-old light here amongst 21-year-olds. And first time I ever go to wing. Here we go. Now we're changing the vibe.
No. It just...
Because we all played wing.
Yeah, no, it became doom and gloom.
You know what I
remember
mean?
that, yeah.
You started at flank.
Yeah, no, I was on the wing.
But you competed with the wingers. With me at fullback, but
Yeah.
we competed to play wing.
Yeah.
You know? So I went and I started... And then Jake says to me, "Oh, call for the ball. I want to see you run." And I thought, what? You invited me here. You should know what I can do. You know I can run.
Yeah.
And I was just I was irritated. Anyway, I left and I went back to the Falcons. That was a Monday night. I went back to the Falcons. I played another Friday game. And man,
another
performed
stormer.
again. The Monday morning, I get a call. Come sit with the great Johan Prinsloo.
Johan Prinsloo. Oh, that's a throwback.
That man done so much for me.
Yeah.
He taught me so many lessons from a rugby point of view that I still implement nowadays. He knew I was playing cricket. He knew I was playing ball still. And all he said to me was, "I wanted you to sign a contract, but I'm going to shake your hand." And that was it. He looked me in the eyes, he shook my hand, and that was my contract. I didn't sign anything.
There was trust,
Trust.
Trust me, I'll look after you.
I promise you. He shook my hand, and I went, okay. And he did. My time at the Lions, and I caught up with him at SA Rugby. And he's also like that.
Yeah.
Just a few good ones.
No, Johan Prinsloo was amazing. Just the time. It was, for me, the emotional intelligence. Because you couldn't get that those days.
And he understood the player, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't he bring you out the mountains?
We'll talk about myself one day. Yeah, you're right.
We just
You're right.
discussion.
He was part of
the rescue crew.
Yeah. Jake was part of the rescue crew. It's funny because most of the time we talk about it like people sort of see people now, but then we've got a far going distance of relationship with them since we were young. Because I mean, back in those days, professional rugby just happened.
Oh.
The junior systems, it was never there. So now it was almost like, I'm not going to say thumbs up, but it felt like a thumbs up, because remember there was those days of the craze of creatine.
Big time.
I mean, my guts could not handle that stuff.
And I love the way the wheel has turned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of this that happened now with me, what I told you with joining the Lions and
Yeah.
that was 1997.
Yeah.
We're talking 3 years after democracy. There's still a vibe.
There's a bit of a taste
Yeah.
out there.
And then
And spice.
the game went professional, 96, I think it was, after the World Cup. And now because the game went professional, everybody had to look like a monster, like a beast, because of a certain Jonah Lomu.
I mean, Jonah did change the whole athlete.
Not only for rugby.
Yeah.
I think every let's say, contact sport. You know, there was a possibility of him going to the NFL.
I mean, rugby leagues would have already loved him.
All of that. He changed that whole outlook of sport, and that's how big the man was.
He was
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, no, he and to me, that sort of it put a lot of pressure. I mean, if you compare the Islanders to us, the South Africans, especially players of color, like to what those guys are specimens. I mean, you see them at 15, and you can tell. For you, he looks like a full-grown man.
Well, they don't have a choice in New Zealand, don't they? Play age? They don't play age group
by
weight. Huh?
Yeah.
So I think they have to.
Yeah. So and you get to learn a lot more when you're playing. It could be an 80-kilogram, let's say, league, and there's a 45, 35-year-old who's playing with a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And then that knowledge transfer and skills imparting and all of those things. But Conrad, for you shot up to the scene quite quickly. I mean, you put so much pressure on us because we played with you in juniors in like the school national teams, and all of a sudden, I think like 2002, you made your Currie Cup debut. You're 20 years old. 2000, not even 2000.
So now, Bobs, you know, I don't think you guys like felt the pressure. Like I went through so much and it was difficult for a 20-year-old lady to understand
what was
the change in scenery, the dynamics in the country, and all of that. Because you got to understand, I went to CBC, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a proud CBC boy. And my school done everything possible to protect me from what was happening in the outside world. And now, all of a sudden, I get into this environment, professional environment. I'm getting paid to play. 97, I'm 17 with under 21s. I start 2000 with a Currie Cup at the Lions, and it's in a way, this is not what I thought it was like. You get what I mean? I understand the outside pressure, and you're a professional now, but something got taken away from you. That, what's the right word? Innocence, nearly.
Do you feel like your innocence, your youth, like you never had to experience a vacation?
No.
End of the year matric.
I don't know what is that. No, because
pre-season.
That's all we knew. December, Jan time is you gotta work. You gotta get yourself ready.
Like when you sort of look at that now with the perspective that you have, right? How much do you think was almost like a foregone conclusion to everyone else, but no one really knew what was happening with you?
Yeah, I'm really glad that there's a bigger awareness on mental health.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that plays a part. It's all good. And once again, like I said earlier on, you know, that you get lucky and the talent takes you that far, but they forget. Back then, I don't think they put a lot of emphasis on this.
You're 20 years old.
I'm playing with guys that I watched the 95 World Cup.
Even that transition, just to be from the stands.
Yeah.
Here's my hero. And now you have to be hard on this guy because he's not passing the ball or he's not doing his job.
Exactly.
And no one tells you how to do that.
How am I going to do that? You know what I mean? I always remember on the buses you used to see that slogan, children should be seen, not heard.
Yeah.
The other way around.
I'm
not sure. Something like
to be seen but not to be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, that was even at home.
So
too.
in other words, you know your place. And that's exactly what it was. You think I'm going to tell a Jappie Mulder, a Henny LaRue, a Chester Williams, a Hannes Strydom, a Bali Swart, 95 World Cup winners, I'm going to tell him, hey, watch my blind over here. Hey, Chester, come cover. I'm just going to... I'll do it all. You know what I mean? I'm going to wait until spoken to, which was also maybe the wrong mindset. But hey, look,
How did you manage that? Because from the outside looking in, I mean, part of the training squads and seeing you there and you playing every weekend, and you had this ultra confidence in your own abilities.
The
That's how it
confidence.
looked.
Yeah. And no, I'd like to think I was confident. You know, there's a lot of people say, "Oh, you're so arrogant." No, it's just I always felt that if I say something, then I've got to match up. Then I've got to back it up. So I wasn't. I love a bit of verbal. You know, it gets me going.
Do you?
and yeah, I think as South Africans in general, we may be a bit too nice. But just to go back to and something I probably have to mention, because you said like I put pressure on the guys I played with, under 19s and schoolboys. No. I felt so much pressure because at the end of the day, as much as I'm 20 and I'm playing Curry Cup, I knew I was representing a Gcobani Bobo, a Sean Plaikis, a Wayne Julius, a Bola Conradi, a Fabian Juris. I knew that the landscape is changing.
Yeah.
And there was a time when I was going to give it all up. You know, I had my issues with Laurie Mains.
Yeah.
And that was the first time where I felt, okay, you need me now. I'm only in this team because I'm a little off-white.
That was huge.
That was hard.
Because I mean, you in that team in 2001 and 2000 Cats did well, got into the playoffs.
99, 2000.
Yes.
It was standard for us to play in semi-finals.
Yeah. And it was still Super 12.
Yeah.
So there wasn't the Western Forces, the extra
bonus points.
carry-ons.
Yeah.
The bonus points. Love how humble you are. Humility just oozes out. It was a big thing. Let's set the scene. You're sharing at that time. You're sharing a room with Chester Williams.
Yeah.
There's a kickoff in Cape Town. Stormers. Start of the season. One of the first games of the season. And what do you hear? What is the chat?
Well, just in terms of like...
what was happening at that time?
So we could even go a bit back.
Please.
So in 2000, everything kicked off.
Yeah.
When I was going to walk away from everything. Laurie was there, and remember I had my drama where I had to appear at Loftus House because I got taken off against the Cheetahs at the Curry Cup game in Bloem. And basically he walked up to me before the game and said, listen, I'm going to, at halftime, the doc must sort you out.
So you like...
So I'm like, what, sort me out? Like what? And I just had a hell of a week that week. I lost a guy I considered an elder brother to me. The Tuesday. I was in no state to play. I only trained captain's practice. But when I asked him for time off, no, we need a better, you know
the culture system was a thing.
Yeah, it was big, Bobs.
Which most of people don't really understand what it was like for us as players. It didn't feel like I was competing with a person who was in my position.
No.
I was competing for the number of 5 that had to be...
with the other black boy on the field. That's what it was. And we didn't feel it because... I know we jump it all over the show, but just stay with me, you know what I mean? We when we came through the under-21 system,
there was none of that.
There was nothing, you know?
There was so many of us. It almost felt like this is the norm.
This is the norm. You know what I mean? We were having a good time. We were a tight bunch of guys.
Singing in the bus, Wayne Julius.
And now this is again where
the mental
start
health
messing with your mind. Because now you step up to senior rugby. You on TV every weekend. It's supposed to be the dream, but was it really? And then you learn pretty quickly, like, whoa, this is a reality check over here. And things played out, and I learned a hell of a lot about me. I was gonna walk away from the game.
Why did you want to walk away?
Because for the first time, I felt, is that why I'm only here? And it took a conversation with Mr. Rian Oberloser back then.
Yeah.
long story. But I refused to play.
Yeah.
So this was after that whole incident when I got asked to lie about an injury to get a white player onto the field. The following year, I kind of knew I'm stuffed here. I'm not going to play much. Now we're into 01.
Yeah.
So Laurie's still there. And I pulled my hammy beginning of the season. And when I came back, I felt, let me just go back to Vodacom Cup and play some games there, get some game time. But also I wanted to be with you.
Yeah, no,
You guys will come in through the system,
We're having
you
a
know,
job.
and I was like, that looks so fun over there. I don't want to play Super
It was
12.
It was intense.
It was heavy. So we trained, and remember we were still the cats and the cheetahs. And
Yeah.
so it was all those issues there as well. And we got together and I played some Vodacom. I played one Vodacom Cup game, and I got pulled back up to the cat squad. And I was like, hey, coach, am I playing this weekend or not? If not, then let me go get some more game time. He's like, no, you playing. You're on the bench. Well done. I said, well, I don't want to sit on the bench. What's that going to help me if I'm sitting on the bench? Let me go back and go play some Vodacom, get game time. Carried on. Anyway, it was a big thing there because there was another player in the past that refused to play Super Rugby and he got banned from all rugby. Ooh. Club rugby, everything, no involvement. By the afternoon, after training, after that episode, I got called into Mr. Prince's office, sat down with him, he explained to me, this is what's happening. He says, I can understand you're frustrated, but just go, you have to be a part of the squad. And I let him know straight up, I said, I hate the fact that I'm only there because of my skin color.
Yeah.
I said, I know I'm talented enough, but I am made to feel that I'm only there because I'm off-white. So I said, okay, cool. Went back to training the afternoon, and by the time training finished and I jumped in the car, there was a message from Rian Oberholzer. And now it's escalated to SA Rugby. And I was like, I don't know. How do I phone this man?
To Rian? How do I
you know
call
what
back?
I mean? And he basically just told me, he said, to sum up what he told me, he said, you know what, you'll be around a bit longer than Laurie. But think of your Bolo Conradis, your Gcobani Bobos. And he mentioned all the black guys that were coming through the system. He said, somewhere it's got to change. So, and I still said to him, so I'm the guinea pig. Anyway, maybe because you can handle it. And that gave me a bit more confidence as well, you know, because now I've got SA Rugby's back in, and it was a terrible time. I genuinely wanted to walk away from it.
I mean, that must have been, how isolated were you in that space? Because yes, to talk to the influence that Chester had, I mean, soul rest in peace, I mean, what a legend. Because you were going through that, I mean, Chester, 95. And then now you are privileged enough to be sharing rooms with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that that influence in you, in the way that it almost looked as if you were unshakable in what you knew you could deliver.
Yeah, so Chester played a big part. I was fortunate enough to share a room with him and just listen and do your time. Nowadays, I feel like youngsters just don't do their time. They just want. As soon as you play a little bit of representative rugby, I want the sponsor, I want that sponsor. Do your damn time.
Yeah.
And Chester told me that. And I think one of the other lessons he taught me was that don't ever give a coach an excuse to drop you. So if he says, you need to work on your left-hand pass, for example, you make sure you pass in 100 balls before and after training. Do not give them an opportunity, you know. He taught me what it was like to be professional, because you know that he worked hard.
He was professional.
And that made sense when I think of it now in hindsight. Like, he was so professional that he didn't give a coach an opportunity. And being the nice guy that he is, I couldn't be. I couldn't do that.
Chester was a nice man. I mean, he took a lot of things just on his stride.
Yeah. But when you sit with him and you talk to him, he'll tell you, like, this is not right. And there was an episode when he said, he, as in Chester Williams, I should have handled this better. And I thought, well, the guy had a go at you. And he just was like, no, that's not him.
There was that him and another hero, James Small, was it, when they had that little rumble at Newlands? Was it that time?
No.
Not even.
It was something at training.
Okay.
No, it was. But besides that, being Chester's roommate was also another story.
Was it stressful?
It was, you know.
You're like, should I turn on the TV?
So
how does it work the first time? Because I mean,
so I'm there. I'm in camp. We're in the training camp, and I'm lying in bed. It must be like 10 to 8. You know, I'm watching TV. Boom, lights go off. TV goes off. So I go, I'm not gonna say, hey, I was still watching. You know, so you know that when you give it, you roll over.
Give it the roll back.
You pull the duvet up here. Once the duvet goes over the shoulders, you know,
it's over.
It's bedtime. And I'm lying there.
Your thoughts
and I was still on my phone, and I was like, wait, there's lights. So now I'm under the blankets. I don't want to disturb Mr. Williams. Anyway, I get through the night. The next morning, I get up. I'm like, I'm so hungry. I'm ready for breakfast. Hey, the man was making his bed in the hotel. So now I can't.
Because we've been into this hotel space and you know that there's room service.
There's housekeeping.
Yeah.
No, Chester was making, just like tidying up.
Yeah.
And I went, oopsie. So I come out the bathroom. I was like, full on military mode. Because he was an army guy.
Yeah.
Full on tucking the sheets in, straightening the duvet, puffing the pillows up, making sure it's all looking good. I was like, his side of the room, shoes are packed out, suitcase there, clothes are in the cupboard. It was stressful, man. Every day I'd come in there.
You must have been happy that then
like
when we roomed.
No. Just a bit more relaxing.
Amazing. You know, we take it for granted, like the background and where you sort of come from sort of matters, especially at that stage. I mean, you were there. I'm not too sure if you were there. Jongi Nokwe getting his time at the Springboks, and people don't really understand. I mean, there was guys that we used to sort of play with even from the sevens. I mean, the sevens was quite a space for you where you sort of found yourself again. Yeah. Did it give you a bit of like? Did you feel like it was much more liberal to sort of not just even playing in a seven because there's so much space, but just the environment,
the enjoyment, the
with no structure.
So after all my drama when I was with Laurie, and after chatting to Rian, so they pulled me into the sevens team, going to Hong Kong and Japan, and Ian McIntosh was the coach. Huge. And I'd never met Mr. Mac before. And I walked into the hotel and he was at reception, and everybody's master to him. Master.
Means he doesn't know your name.
Master. And he came to me and he went, Master, good to see you. Welcome. You're going to have an absolute joy. You're going to enjoy yourself with us here. And I went, geez, thank you. And that kind of changed because of everything that I was going through. I was on this downer, and he just grabbed a hold of me, threw me on, and he went, I know you're coming back from an injury, but you're looking fine, so you go in with us to Hong Kong and Japan. And I had a really good tournament, and the plan was for me to meet the Cats again in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And so after Hong Kong, I was going to fly to New Zealand, and I sat in his room crying, in Mr. Mac's room, and I said, please don't send me to New Zealand. That's how much
you had that.
I was hurt by what was going on with the Cats. And I was like, please, can I just stay here? Please, please. And he was like, no, the agreement was that you have to join them. But for that time that I was with them, it brought back my love for the game. You know what I mean? And it's what
just how
is like.
you see, like, I mean, you just mentioned like Hong Kong, Japan. Though this is when the series was starting, but the Hong Kong Sevens was almost like the Champions Cup of Sevens, like that that leg you want to be part of.
Yeah.
Because it's a legacy leg.
Yeah, it's a different tournament. There's a whole lot more teams as well. There's more points on offer.
Yeah.
You play in 3 days now instead of 2.
Yeah.
So when I started with the sevens, it was the first World Series. And I subsequently went back and forth and I jumped in for a few tournaments here and there. But Hong Kong, you'd always heard of when we played in the final. Didn't we win it, I think? I know we played in the final against Fiji.
Yes.
But then Andre Venter, Ewers, Bobby, it was a powerhouse
That's
of
a
a
proper
team.
side.
I
Yeah,
think
97.
It could have been 97.
97 was the final. When Andre got
Yes.
chinned
Yes.
by was a small Fijian.
So you can imagine, we 95 World Cup champions, and you've got some of those guys at Hong Kong.
Andre Joubert was there.
Andre Joubert. No, there was big names over there. So it's a special place. It was just a different environment. It's if ever you want to go and watch a sevens event. I know they got the new stadium nowadays, but it's still.
Did you go to the
place.
Fundamava shop?
Was that the tech
Mr.
shop?
Chong, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chong,
Yeah.
Fundamava shop.
He gave himself the Fundamava name. Yeah. I actually think I bought my first video camera from him.
Talk about video camera, you're quite a gadget man, especially on those tours and when you get to travel like Hong Kong. I mean, none of the new generation will know what a Discman is.
A TDK 90. You're so happy when you get a Walkman with a radio on. Yeah, I still got some of those things lying
Put
around.
the batteries out in the sun.
Yeah! No, boss,
to
I
recharge
remember.
and boost.
I remember. And we thought we were so cool when we were under 19s in France, in
Yeah.
Toulouse, with our headphones, and we were just...
I remember talking to that. One of the stories when I was like sort of chilling back and just rewinding my own little tape in my head, I was thinking about the day that we decided that we all as a team, under 19, South Africa has been brave enough to make me the captain. I just had my little stint in the mountain,
I
but
know what you're
it was
gonna
a half a bit. And then we all decided that, you know what, first of all, let's explain how Toulouse was. It was just a rugby mad city.
Mad.
And they had put us out in the outskirts.
Summertime.
It was, yes. We were like in nowhere, nothing. It almost felt like we were sitting in this farm, right? And I don't know if you got hold of the fact that there was something happening somewhere.
Just down the road, there was a La Fiesta. Yeah, I enjoy exploring my surroundings.
Yeah,
So,
we were never the ones we were proper Tommy tourists when it came to touring.
yeah. You
Put our
gotta-
backpack on and let's go find out what's happening.
Exactly. You got to get to know your surroundings.
So we got the wind out that there's a La Fiesta
La
down there.
Fiesta was the name. I can still see the lights.
And we got everyone to buy into the fact that we're leaving. I think there was only 2 guys who didn't.
Yeah.
And putting another in context, a sort of picture of in context, Peter de Villiers is our coach. And we let's tell the story. What happens? How did they come and pick us up?
Okay, so from what I can, this was my version, okay?
Yeah.
So I done some scouting in
Yeah.
the weeks. I said,
Standard.
hey, check here. There's this spot down the road here. I think we played Poland that day. Wasn't it our first game or
Yeah,
something?
it was Poland.
And we gave them 80 or 90 or something.
Fabian Drew scored like 20
Yeah,
tries
yeah,
by
yeah.
himself.
Standard. And I thought, well, it's just so much about rugby. Now and then you just need to relax a bit. You know what I mean? We weren't gonna go and get pissed and hammered and
we didn't
were
even
lighties.
know.
We didn't know what to do. We were just gonna go for a groove.
Yeah, hang
Feel
out.
the vibe there.
Yeah.
So we get there and I started putting the word out. I was like, hey, let's just take a walk down this road. I can't say how far, but let's just go. Next I get to reception and I see there's a whole group. So okay.
We're all dressed.
And my captain is with me.
Well, we have to lead from the front.
My captain is with me, so I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. Nah, I was prepared to just walk out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a lot less suspicious. Anyway, we sneak out. And then they were busy with roadworks on the side of the road, and there was these trenches, ditches.
Yeah, I remember those ditches.
Yeah. So as we got out the hotel gate, and now we on our way to paradise, La Fiesta is waiting for us. And as we get like, I reckon must be about 50 meters down the road, and we just heard that voice, Mr. Bantam. Oh, yalla!
Gala!
And I went, what? And I thought, how do we... And then the guy started jumping in the trenches. So,
Diving
so
and
I followed.
hiding.
So I jump in as well, and I'm lying there, like I'm in a war zone. I'm like, what's going on here? How do we play this out?
In the barracks.
And I remember you were like a little bit away from me, and you now like, no, guys, we got to sort this out. I was like, you the captain.
You
Go.
step up.
You must represent us all here. You go first, and we'll follow. And then eventually you got up, and you just, I can still see it, because there was a street light, and I just saw you give that Bob's walk back into the hotel, like, we busted. And then, we all followed. I went straight to the room. You were in meetings.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to send a few guys home. And then Peter de Villiers came through for us.
Yeah. That's one thing about Peter. We talk about him, emotional intelligence. Before the trials of that, for me to even be picked, get there first day, he calls me into the room. He's like, I want you to be my captain. I'm like, wait, I've never met you, man. I don't know who you are. How do I trust you? I mean, are you saying this just to motivate me? I mean, when we were young, we know everything at that time and stage. We thought we knew everything. And Peter says, no, go out there and just prove it to me that I'm making the right decision, which is another form of motivation. Because this motivation comes from the fact that this man, he knows what he has seen with what you can do, and now he's telling you, don't even doubt it. Like, let's go. So
you're my man?
You're my man, let's go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't let that guy down. I've never met him, like I said. I knew of Peter de Villiers because he used to coach the Tigerberg. And the Tiere were amazing in Cape Town. They had a vibe.
We used to always train at
You remember, we always used to train in Tigerberg. So I mean, all due respect, I was like, I need to make sure that...
I didn't know that.
You know what I mean?
Cool,
so I go to those trials. I remember Big Joe.
Cruising.
Big Joe looks at... Big Joe is going, what is wrong with you? So he was like, the first thing he said, when I saw you like all that amped, I just thought to myself, I'm just going to be your blanket. I'm just going to be around you the whole time. Like, this is where...
You were still at 6 then?
I was still playing at 6, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I was Michael Jones, Josh Cromfeld, everyone, Zinzenbrook in my head. So I was doing all that I sort of had in my head. And Peter calls us, because I'm sitting in those meetings, and Roland Bantam, school teacher, manager, he's known of me because I was part of the setup the year before, the under-19s. And then he goes, and they're going off. I think even Crystal Baker was there.
Yes.
And Crystal was like...
principal.
He was a principal of like Waterkloof, which is quite a big established school, right? So now their first thing is, we misbehave, we young people, we have to be chased out. And Peter says, hey, wait, let's pull back a bit. What do we expect? Look where these guys are sitting. Some of them are out of school. Yeah. This is their first trip overseas, and you guys are overreacting. And I'm sitting back there, I'm going, good call, this guy. I trusted him and I backed him. And that's what we got from Peter de Villiers at that young, early stage, until we moved to that massive... Remember, from there, because I think it was the beginning of the tournament, and then we moved to this like 5-star hotel.
Yes. But I remember Peter, because when you mentioned that there's some guys out of school, that was also something that got to me. I think over time, when I learned more about myself, like I never enjoyed people telling me, you know what I mean, this is how it should be, or just allow me to figure things out. And Peter done that really well. Like he just let me be. I'm glad I got him. Maybe we were spoiled.
We were spoiled
when we got him at that as a youngster. And then we came through the system and things changed. But now he's a good man.
But I mean, so you are like this young superstar. You get your debut 30th of June versus Italy. Funny enough, that was in Boete Erasmus.
with a train up
Yeah.
above the stand there. Yeah.
How was that? Like that memory. I mean, we all sat there and we're like, Kuni, oh, gee, CJ is already in. I think you and Joe were there.
Yeah. Joe was there.
Yeah.
Who else that
I think John Smith was already around.
AD came
AD
later
Jacobs,
on. He came the end of year tour, but the same year. Remember, AD and Etienne Boto were storming at the Falcons.
Those two.
So I was glad when AD came along and I knew Joe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. Yeah, Bobs, it was. I mean, your debut. I'm glad you remember it was Italy and not Australia.
Everyone else always says that.
Yeah. But no, it's when I tell people that you stand there when you're singing the anthem and people see the players get emotional and the people see the players crying while singing the anthem. It's because, wow, for me, I stand there and I think, how the hell did I get here? I was just playing schoolboy rugby now. Things happen so quickly. Whenever, I'm talking be your first test or your whatever, your 20, 30, 50th test, all of those emotions still play on your mind. And
it's a sacrifice.
And you look around and you're like, and I remember standing there at Boetie Erasmus and I could think of Mr. Hildred. Mr. Hildred was my first rugby coach at school. And under 13 or under 14 it was. And then as you went through, I could think of all those people.
Yeah.
It's just, it was.
This is memories, huh? And then, 716, like, Springbok number.
716, yeah.
How crazy is that? I mean, we were privileged enough to have ripped South Africa at under 19 sevens, like growing that Springbok on your chest. How important was that for you? Just for representation, first of all, and just you as an individual, as an athlete that you were, and in that Bok number. I don't think sometimes we emphasize enough on that Bok number.
No. And I've been chatting to people about that. That is a significant number because before the World Cup 2 years ago in France, there was less than 1,000
people.
990, I think, 989, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Springboks. And you number 716. What's your number?
747.
Boeing. 7, that's a nice
747 Boeing jet.
No. And you think of how many rugby players there are in South Africa, well, now around the world, guys that dream of being in that position, and you've got your number, you've done your time.
Yes, I mean, the spotlight, something that you're not prepped for. There's a lot of young, talented players. In almost like in summary of our conversation, this is just the intro conversation that we're having. We're gonna have more of these. Lots of young players are coming through, and they're very young. Their lives is gonna change. The expectations, the media, and how people sort of, this is what they give you. Like Conrad is that guy who kicks those spiral up and unders. Conrad he's got a big boot. Conrad this, Conrad that, but you know yourself as a rugby player, someone who can play. I think that you were underused as a 10.
Yeah, so I actually, I don't know if you knew this, so I played SA School Centre.
13.
I played SA School Centre. I played Craven Week, all the pre-tournament games, like your friendlies before Craven Week. I played at 10. Craven Week, I played at 15. I never played wing until they needed some colour up there.
It was like, why don't you compete with Chester?
No, but I just think it's ball skills, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the one mistake that I feel I made, I'm not saying it was...
It is a lesson that you
mistake,
picked up.
A lesson.
Yeah.
You know, when people... When coaches realized you had a big boot and you could kick a ball, you kind of got put into that box. And now there was a period when I went through and I felt like a goalkeeper. And that was not the game that I got brought up playing. You know what I mean?
When you just catch, boom.
Boom. And when I get the ball at the back and everybody just stands in front, nobody wants to come back. I can't counter because I don't have the support.
Yeah.
So what must you do? You got to kick it. And that's not how we grew up playing.
Nah.
Since Sportnet under 15s through the system,
It was never our sort of DNA. You're right. But like that pressure of being put in those boxes and that pressure, I mean, I can make a clean example now, like Sasha Fireman Gomezu. He's been put up as like, he's our savior, he's the locksmith, he's everything. Oof. Like, if you had to sit down and talk to Conrad of the 20-year-old who becomes man of the match, starting his first Tri-Nations game against Australia at Loftus and everyone, because the writers are like, this is who he is. How would you sort of phrase it now and sort of speak to that person?
Man, it's a difficult one, boss.
Yeah.
I think, number one, I'd probably still want to keep that innocence, that enjoyment factor.
Yeah.
Because the most difficult part is the higher you go, you kind of seem to lose that love. I can't find the words now.
It's almost like the enthusiasm,
of
what you started loving about the game.
Why did you play it, And I would probably just want to go back to my school days, even when I was on a professional field. So even if I was at Loftus, Ellis Park, Newlands, in my mind, I'm playing at school. Because that's when I was playing my best. You were enjoying yourself, carefree. I understand you're now grown up and there's a whole lot more eyes on you. But at the end of the day, you said before we started chatting, it's still the same thing.
Rugby hasn't
changed. You still got to score the tries. You
still have to have a dominant pack to take your tackles.
Make your hits. So
work hard.
So the game hasn't changed, but the expectations has. So I think if I think of a guy like Sasha, everybody goes on, and no doubt we know he's talented. We know he's a damn good player, but just let him be. He's a youngster. Just let him be. He's gonna make mistakes,
Let him learn.
Let him learn.
Let's not even talk about mistakes.
Do your time.
Let him learn.
Don't be scared. There was a point where I went through it. I know you went through it, where you were so scared to make a mistake on the field. You were so scared to throw a pass because there's a possibility that pass is going to make sure you don't play next week.
No 50-50s.
No 50-50s.
What
you
is
know
that?
what I mean? All of those
Chicken
things.
Wings. That's what we used to practice the whole time.
Guys talk now. I hear them talking on TV. Oh, throw in the chicken wing. I was like, do you know where it comes from?
We used to
Do
sit
you know
there.
where it comes from?
Remember, we used to try and throw it front on so that we can see each other.
No, I don't know. And yeah,
How do you encourage them to explore that? How do you encourage that young Conrad to say to him, Connie, like, enjoy yourself. Actually be a child. Figure out your life outside this rugby.
Because I do it now with youngsters, and I try to tell them that I make them aware of all the mistakes I've made in life, in my career, off the field, whatever. And I let them also know that nowadays I only take advice from somebody that's made mistakes. Because these people that come nowadays with these influences and this one and that one's got this to say, everybody's now got a podcast because you all got so much to say. Sorry, I'm not having a go at you.
No, you can anytime, but I understand where you're coming from.
But some of you didn't. You just sometimes I think things came too easy for me because it was the talent.
Yeah.
And the day I remember it was 2004. I had actually signed a contract in France. And when Chester phoned me and said, "Listen, yeah, he's taking over the Cats job in 2005. I'm his starting fullback." Same thing what Peter done to you.
Yeah.
I'm his starting fullback. Just make sure you're ready. And I went, "Oh, sorry, Chizzy. I actually signed a contract in France." And he went, "Oh, no, we have to get you out of that." And I thought, well, okay, if you are showing so much faith in me, I have to repay you. And that was when my rugby changed, because I became a professional. I may have been playing since 2000, but at the end of 04, I became a true professional because I started working. And I hit the gym. I picked up solid mass.
Yes, so then we could not get you out of the gym.
Exactly, because I realized what it had done for my confidence, for my game. We played the Hurricanes the first game at Ellis Park in the 05 season. We played the Bulls, but like first 3 games or so.
Yeah.
And I took a short ball and Nonu came in and Ma smashed me. But
You could take
I went through it and I scored. And I went, geez, just a bit of gym work and like a win gat now. No, but that's my thing. Like just don't be scared to make mistakes, man. You know, Don't put that pressure on you. I used to put so much pressure on myself. It was wrong of me when my own family, my own mother, doesn't want to tell me what's happening. Something may have happened at home on a Wednesday because she feels that it's going to affect me on the Saturday. But that was the impression I was giving them. You know, it's not right.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's your job. You gotta love what you do.
Yeah.
We're privileged and honored to be doing that, but you gotta have a jaw. And I think that's why when there's times to relax a bit and hit the La Fiesta, you gotta
hit the La Fiesta.
But there's a balance.
That is one thing that we really did enjoy. And CJ, thank you so much for coming through. Like I said, this is the first of the chats that we are gonna have because there's so much more to it. It is the Kerport, keeping it rugby. Like, subscribe, please share. It's been a pleasure.